This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.
Hope you had a nice Halloween with your friends and family. This is episode 169 of the one and only ITintheD Show, broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit. We have an amazing show lined up for you today.
Many things to talk about.
All the things to talk about.
All the things.
Michelle Gilbert is in the house from Comcast. She's the VP of PR. We're going to beat her up and then let her talk about the cool programs that Comcast is doing. Just kidding, Michelle. Then we got
Michelle.
Matt Blaze here from Aero Strategies. We want to, one of our recruiters from the last Pink Slip Party. We want to talk about kind of trends in IT jobs in Metro Detroit. And we got so much other crap to talk about. Dave, you might fire in ready.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
You're listening to the IT in the D Show.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to IT in the D. Whatever the hell that is.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the sun? Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on.
Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
Bob loves it in the can.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds? Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The IT in the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
That's why I like it in the can.
Which kind of scares the shit out of me.
Shut up, Barry.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is IT in the D.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big. We got screwed at the same time. Yeah.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, a Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to IT in the D.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Recovering from our sugar buzz from Halloween last night.
We all have the diabetes.
We do. Every single one of us. This is the one and only IT and the D show, and we made it all the way up to episode 169.
Dude.
We're broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit, beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG in the house. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Give us a like on the Facebook, and shout out to Randy and Ian, who's filling up the Twitter sphere. Give us a follow at /ITintheD. Do us a favor, mark your calendars, November 17th. God, did that come up quick. We're going to be at the Firebird Tavern down in Greektown from 5 o'clock until question mark.
I always get in so much trouble when I go to the Firebird.
Anytime you say, hey, Bob, we have our own bourbon that was made just for us. Would you like to try it? I must say, yeah. How do I say no to such?
It's a trap.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, hey, it's a little bit out, but it's going to come quick, too. Mark your calendars. December the 8th, we're going to be at Falling Down Brewery for our yearly toy drive from 5 o'clock again till question mark. It's always an amazing time. There's always awesome people going to be there, and we're helping out a lot of kids in Metro Detroit that need your help. So that is our one big charity event every year that we look forward to more than anything else.
Yeah, and then, obviously we'll have the Podcast Detroit remote gear out. I'm sure we'll go live. A couple other people go live. And then speaking of Podcast Detroit and remote gear, next weekend, we're going to be out at Fantasticon. Believe it is November 12th and 13th, Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a whole bunch of shows out.
At the Gibraltar Trade Center.
At the Gibraltar Trade Center that we were just yakking about during Worst Meatball Sandwich Ever.
The classiest of establishments.
Right. So, yeah, we'll be there. So come on out. It's for Fantasticon. Should be a good weekend. It always is. And, of course, the after party will be at Dickweeds.
There's a bar called Dickweeds
across
the street from, Dave goes on Yelp and says karaoke.
Oh, yeah, somebody said they want to do karaoke. So I fire up Yelp and I type in karaoke, and the first place that pops up is a bar named Dickweeds. And I'm like, there's no way. So I call, and the girl answers the phone. She says, Weeds. I'm like, no, really? The name of the bar is Dickweeds. She said, yeah, it's the owner's name. I'm like, we'll verify that later. Says here you have karaoke? She said, yeah, it starts at 9:30. I'm like, that's all I need to know. Click. So we get there and we roll in like 30 deep. We've got the Ghostbusters with us. We've got, Big Tiny from The Walking Dead and Mike and Ming. And we took over this little towny bar. And after a while, the owner comes up and introduces himself. And we made him show us his driver's license.
Hi, I'm Mr. Dick Weeds.
His name is Richard Weeds.
Awesome.
And I sang karaoke with Ming Chen, Flash Gordon. So I got to sing Flash Gordon with a man named Ming. And I got to yell death to Ming to a man named Ming. And my life was complete. Hey, we got awesome guests lined up for this show. Segment 2, we're going to be joined by none other than one of our favorite people, Michelle Gilbert here from Comcast. There's a couple new programs going out, and we got a little bit of an announcement. And then third segment, we got Matt Blazin from Aero Strategies, one of our top recruiting companies, talking about trends and what they're seeing in the IT market in downtown Detroit. Speaking of recruiters and finding people jobs, this segment is brought to you by our friends at ZipRecruiter. If you are hiring, do you know where to post your job and find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. Plus, it's time-consuming and boring. Matt can attest to that. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post to one job to all of the top sites, and now you can. ZipRecruiter already has 9 million resumes you can search through in their own database. You can add multiple people to account to make it the most efficient for your team to find the best hire. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to 100 plus job site, including social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, all with a single click. ZipRecruiter is a search engine for finding and posting jobs. No more juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, hire the right person fast. If you have any issues, ZipRecruiter has human support staff ready to help. Find out why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 1 million businesses. Actually, their site also shows trending career fields, cities, and searches. Do us a favor. Listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/ITintheD. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ITintheD, and post your first job for free.
Nice. Thanks for your support.
Exactly. So, Dave, we kind of we have an announcement that I think we should probably say publicly for the first time.
Are you pregnant?
No, I look like it, but no, that's just because I ate a lot of candy yesterday.
There is something growing inside of him, but that's yeast.
It's I am drinking a PBR.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, as everybody knows, we don't just broadcast here out of Podcast Detroit. We run the joint. So we've got 3 studios here in this building, and it filled up faster than we ever thought it would. But the one thing that we really haven't had really take off is business clients. And we've talked with a lot of businesses, and specifically the ones downtown have said, yeah, we'd love to come use your studio, but here's the deal. We don't want to cut our folks loose for like 3 hours during the afternoon to go to Royal Oak and record. So we have solved that problem. We are opening up yet another studio.
Moving on up, moving on up to the east side. It could be east side.
It could be. Nobody really knows where the line is.
We're going to be on the 20th floor of the Penobscot.
Yep. So we're going to be on the 20th floor of the Penobscot building.
It's a great view.
Can you see Russia from there?
Yeah.
You can see Russia from
You can see Canada. Canuckistan, yeah.
So yeah, we're building out a studio there. It is specifically to target and deal with our business clients, the business friends that we have down there. It's got not only a recording studio, just like we have here. That's the whole point. If you've ever been here in our studio, all 3 studios are configured and look exactly the same. We're going to do the same thing there, and so it's going to be clean. It's going to be nice, and
the best part. The most best part of all the parts is there's a witch on the first floor who has the best sandwiches out of all the fast food sandwiches.
It was pretty phenomenal.
I've ever had.
That grinder was outstanding.
And I went back. Yeah, I went back and I had another one, and it was just
like that day.
Are you a hobbit? Is that like your second dinner?
No, but I went.
He's Pam from Archer.
I had the
Dunch and then second Dunch. And then
I had
dinner.
the Italian first. And then I had the South Philly cheesesteak with Cheese Whiz.
Oh, Whiz Wit?
Yeah, with Whiz Wit. Whiz. You said it backwards.
Yeah. So, So, everything's out at podcastdetroit.com. Check it out. The announcements out there. The game plan is to be up and operational hopefully this month. We just got to figure out, what we need as far as gear and all that kind of stuff goes. But I'm not going to lie, it's kind of exciting. Ever since we moved to Ferndale with our first studio, we've always wanted to get back downtown. This lets us do that,
right.
And it's important to us.
So, Dave, it's been a bad week for some people.
It's but not us.
No, not us. It's been a great week for us. Bad week for a lot of people. Let's count them down. Wii U dead.
Need them
already?
No. Well, yeah. Don't give me. And they announced the last orders for the Wii U went in Halloween, so yesterday.
Yeah.
They only got a couple hundred units ordered. Nobody's buying them, and I've said it from the beginning. They should have just stuck with the Wii.
I love that. I remember the first time I played that was at Activate, actually, down at Neil's place.
I love the Wii U.
The Wii U's so cool. It's like having that little small second screen. It's just like, it makes so much sense.
Nope, give me the Wii.
Oh, so the Wii's still out there? Wii's don't connect
No, you
to
can use
TVs.
the Wii sticks with the Wii U.
Yes, you can.
And you can use a Xbox controller.
But it's not backwards compatible with all the games.
No.
And you can't connect a Wii to a high-definition TV. It only does RCA outputs.
Yep.
Correct.
Weird.
Google Fiber, dead.
Yeah, so they've halted the rollout in
Michelle's smiling.
I thought it was a pause.
They're pivoting. It's a pivot. That's what they do.
It's exactly they've
Pause is the mascot for the Tigers. No, this is flat out. They're just stopping rolling out. I don't know if they didn't get adoption or if they didn't show profitability
They're having regulatory issues, trying to get space on other people's poles.
Ding.
Things like that. And then basically, Fios has had a bad day too. Fios is basically the same thing. It's really hard to lay fiber. And if you're basically, another bell ring for that one, laying fiber. But basically, it's hard work to put stuff up on other people's utilities. So I get it. And they're going to do wireless instead, Google said. So
well, and then Google
laying fiber is not cheap, dude.
No,
that is an expensive rollout where they are lucky to see profit. Michelle could probably correct me on this, but when I used to do it 10 years ago, they wouldn't see profit till month 38 at best. So you're taking a gamble that people are staying.
And then does AT&T really want you to put fiber up on their poles? No, so they're going to go as slow as possible and obstruct basically everything you do. So I get it.
Well, AT&T was smart where they went fiber to the curb, so they didn't actually terminate in everybody's home. So they were actually using, copper for the last mile, dropping it at the neighborhood, which was smart. But again, because if you went last mile to every home, they would have just been
like
bankrupt.
Fios did.
Exactly. They lost their ass.
Well, and then Google, along with Apple, actually, both announced, they're not going to be mass producing cars anytime in the near future. They finally just said, no. Like we might do a couple runs of limited stuff, but no, we're going to go ahead and focus on getting our software in cars. We're not actually going to be building Google cars.
Well, they're a software company, right? To build, Apple had that like secret garage,
right?
That was like right next
that was not so.
That was not so secret. And basically, they were trying to build their very own from scratch. And it's like, GM's got the technology, Ford's got the technology. They understand cars. So
when all the suppliers are here, I don't think they understood the brevity and the reach that they needed, that it's not just, I'm going to build a car. You need, I don't want to say, is it up to thousands of suppliers to build a car? By everything, the trim, like.
Well, and then where are you going to sell them? Tesla.
Right. Right.
Well, I think they've had problems, though, is that GM and Ford aren't sexy. Like, if you're an engineer out of college, do you want to go work for GM or Ford? No, you
not
want to go
anymore.
work for Google or Apple.
In the 70s, yeah.
Well, totally.
Yeah, right. Not now.
Yeah. And I think that's going to change. And I think we're going to have really exciting stuff coming out of GM and Ford.
Well, that's the thing with Apple. Apple just came out with, they're posting the first revenue decline since 2001.
It's crazy.
Think about that. 15 years. Apple's been king of the mountain.
You saw the new MacBook this week, right?
Toilet.
Yeah. I was so excited. I'm like, I've got a 3-year-old MacBook Pro. I'm like, I have to have a new Mac when it comes out this week.
And you can. If you only want 16 gigs of RAM.
Only 16 gigs of RAM. And then Apple is now, I swear to God, they're in the dongle business. So basically, everything I have, you can't charge your iPhone 7 on your new MacBook Pro without a freaking dongle.
Come on.
No, seriously. And that dongle's going to have 2 things on it because you have to have a little headphone jack too. I think Apple's in the dongle business.
Well, you heard why they're only using 16 gig of memory was to save battery life. They said if we increased RAM, it would be detrimental to the battery life of that thing, which is toilet. Every techie in the world laughed at that.
So
statement.
courageous.
Well,
so courageous.
Hang on. Randy's on Twitter right now. If you can find the video, they put dubbed over. There's like some Mexican comedy show like Jimmy Fallon, where it's like Mexican guy laughing about MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
Put it on Twitter. If you want to laugh, that's one of the funniest things. And he joked that's when they pulled off the light from the back of the Mac. It was basically, he said, we're charging $12.99 for a $199 netbook.
They're using last generation processors. They gave you a little tiny touch bar instead of giving you an entire freaking touchscreen like every other laptop manufacturer has done.
And then here you have Surface coming out with that just glorious design laptop.
And it's $3,000, right?
Bill Belichick does not like them though.
Not those Surfaces. I'm talking about did you see the big desktop ones, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one where like those are for like so Microsoft finally said, Apple, which you owned design. Surface is going to take it over with this product.
I think so. It's gorgeous. This is the first year that I'm not going to buy a new Apple product. I'm not buying an iPhone 7 and I'm not buying a new MacBook Pro. I know, right? I think the entire internet just went, oh.
Well, I'm worried about. I got my Samsung 7 Edge.
Speaking of batteries,
yeah. So like Dave and I have you. Would you have the Edge or just the regular Samsung
S7? Yeah.
So Dave has the S7. I have the Samsung Edge, and we both, if we play too much Clash of Clans on our phone, we get this.
Well, I told you I saw that message for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And it was, this message comes on that says, core temperature, getting too high, shutting down background services, yada, yada. And I was like, that's weird. And so I went and Googled it, and that's a thing. But I'd never had that happen before.
Oh, it happens to me all the time.
It was 3 weeks ago because it was when I still had the 6, and then I just got this one. And I haven't had it happen on this one yet. But yeah, so now the news broke that it's not just the notes that are blowing things up. Now it's the 7 Edge.
Well, if I didn't have to buy this damn thing for retail, I would get the new Google Pixel because that looks awesome.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I've
heard nothing but good reviews from it too. Seriously.
Right. But I paid, you don't want to know how much I paid for this stupid thing because my other one, my 6 died. So I had to pay full retail because when I was working at Cisco, you couldn't go to the Verizon store and buy a phone. I had to buy it through corporate. And the only
$650, $750.
I think I paid $800 for it,
geez.
and I hated it, and I cried into my Jägermeister. So Nuri, you fly all the time. The one thing I miss about flying is reading that Sky Mall magazine.
The Hammacher
Schlemmer.
Yeah.
Hey, and I actually, I bought back in the Great Lakes days the like wall-sized word search that was in there.
Oh, this is the first person I know that has ever bought something at Sky Malls.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I didn't buy it out of Sky Mall. I went. I was in Chicago. I had seen it in Sky Mall. Went to Chicago. Went to the Hammacher Slumber store. Bought it. And had it.
Can you
like,
say that
on
again?
One of the walls. Hammacher Slumber store.
Oh, yeah.
And bought it. Yeah. And had it up on one of the walls in the conference rooms. And that, like, people thought it was like the greatest thing ever. That was like, yeah.
But I always wonder who bought the Bigfoot for the backyard in the pool. Who bought that
the
triangle
$8,000 table made of glass that was also a fish tank?
That too. But there was always that like wedge. That was been in the Sky Mall for 10 years. That like it looked like a triangle wedge, like an inflatable, and you put it on the seat or the table in front of you, like that you eat off of, and you slept on that. And it was like this like gray haired guy, and it was in the Sky Mall for 10, 12 years.
Never saw one.
I never saw one in my life ever. Anyone using it. Like, I'm going to pull out an inflatable raft toy.
Right.
Just so I can sleep on a pillow. Just put my head down for crying out loud. But the interesting
thing about that story is that they said with the death of Sky Mall, American Airlines is going to save $350,000 a year on fuel.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't believe that they have it down to that.
Because they did the math. They did the math on what does each copy of Sky Mall weigh, and then you factor that by plane, factor that by planes.
Right.
And they were like, it basically boiled down to every flight that took off, $37 or it was 37.5 pounds was Sky Malls.
Wild.
And so they were like, that's the equivalent of like one of your carry-ons that you have to pay for to check now.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when U.S. Airways was having problems with fuel prices. All the carriers were, right? Because gas was so much. They pulled out all the in-flight entertainment and said that they were doing that because of weight and that was going to save them millions and millions and millions of dollars when they could have just pulled out Sky Mall.
Right. Well, you've read the case study on Southwest?
Which one?
They were going to go out of business, and they hedged on fuel.
Oh.
And fuel prices jumped through the roof. Like, remember when Bush took office, fuel was like $1.80, $1.80. Then it jumped to like $4, like within, right? This is even prior to that.
And now we're back at $2 a gallon.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I know.
Obama.
Yeah. Because presidents control OPEC.
They control everything.
Right. Especially the Dow. But like Southwest hedged, and they bought at the right time. And if they didn't do that, they would have went belly. Like, there was like a really bad time with their company.
I think Delta actually owns part share of a refinery. They actually bought their own refinery so they could kind of control some of that process as well.
It would make sense.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy.
The way their whole like, if you look at, you remove a magazine, you save almost $500,000 for crying out loud.
And there was a neat little article that came out from the former CEO of Vine.
Everyone's dying this week. What the hell?
Don't ever
Did
sell
they
your
die
company.
on the Vine?
Yeah, he said, don't ever sell your company. He sold off to Twitter.
He didn't sell it for shit, did he?
And then Twitter.
Didn't he sell it for like $3 million?
Yeah, it wasn't that
Vine.
much. And
when you look at
Twitter's killing it off.
When you look at like all these other companies are worth $60 billion, like LinkedIn and like Grubhub is worth $3 billion. You had Vine. I mean, Vine wasn't. My kids loved Vine.
Well, that was Damn Daniel, right? I mean, without Vine, we wouldn't have had Damn Daniel.
You're right. Van's stock went through the roof because of that stupid Daniel
and like awkward puppets and stuff. I mean,
right.
Well, but I mean, you look at it and that might have been an actually well valued buy, because the problem is, and then they just said, hey, look, with Instagram now doing video and all these other, video sources that are out there, it's not like Twitter's making money, so Twitter's already hemorrhaging, just trying to keep tweets rolling.
Yeah, because nobody knows what Twitter is still.
Also, Game of Thrones to the internet, 140 characters, no idea what the hell's going on.
Well, they've hired 3,500 freaking people to do it too. Twitter's global workforce is 3,500 people.
Which I still don't understand.
What do they do?
tweet. I don't know.
Play ping pong. They
Talk
tweet,
about
they
drink
tweet
cold
about
brew,
Twitter.
property process tweets. Yeah, properties of tweets.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Hashtag themselves.
They're actually laying off 9% of the global workforce. So sorry about that, guys. And did you hear, though, the best part of that story is that Pornhub offered to buy Vine from Twitter.
Yeah.
And their quote was, 6 seconds is more than enough.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, they would have the stats to back that up. You would think.
No, but Vine was the first. Like, we always loved the GIF files, and Vine was the first to bring you GIF files with audio. Like, my kids would make hysterical Vines.
It's GIF, not GIF.
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 Graphics interface. GIF.
The man who invented it said GIF.
No, I don't care what he says.
Choosy
Stands for
geeks,
graphics
choose
is
GIF.
GI. GI is graphics.
Randy,
Grr.
solve this for us, please.
No. Graphics interface.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I don't care.
You are. It's all about the syllable.
I will say tomato till I die. The guy that invented it can kiss my ass. It's GIF.
Also having a bad week. The architects that built the Millennium Tower.
GIF is peanut butter. Kiss my ass.
It's.
I don't care.
Choosy geeks choose GIF.
No.
Can we isolate that, please?
The Millennium Tower in San Francisco, where apparently it's 50 some odd stories high. Condos and apartments in it were going for $3 to $5 to $10 million.
10 houses for $10 million.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shifting. It's sinking.
It was built on a sinkhole.
Apparently, no.
Yes.
They're blaming a local water treatment
toilet.
Yeah. And apparently they didn't go. Kind of like the road. Everybody says the roads here they need to go down deeper. Apparently they only went down half the distance that they should have in order to anchor into bedrock and that sort of stuff. And so they are
the company here in Detroit that's doing all the real estate bedrock. Which one?
So apparently it's already sank some 16 inches, which is causing, and it's not sinking evenly. So it's got a 2-inch tilt at the base and as much as a 6-inch tilt up at the top.
So basically somebody in a penthouse could put a can of soup on one side of her house.
That's how they found out.
And they're like, I was playing with my putting green in my $3 million condo and the ball was constantly hooking to the left.
It's like the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Well, they said, and that's, I love the architects. They're like, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, that's 16 feet. That's
pizza, Dave. Pizza.
Whatever. We got nothing to worry about. Well, they said it's not done sinking.
Oh, God.
It's probably going to go down another couple feet.
They said the garage had these massive stress cracks.
In
the walls. So it's like you see a Lamborghini and a Bugatti and then stress crack.
And added rebar and mesh.
So it's saying the geotechnical engineer that's leading this whole thing, existing data indicates the tower might sink 24 to 31 inches in total, but nobody knows for sure. Joe Montana lives there, not Montana, the football player.
Not the guy from Criminal Minds?
No, the football player.
Joe Montana?
He lives in there.
Yes.
We always love Uber.
Do we?
We love talking about Uber.
Yeah.
Uber, I guess they did a case study. They did something in Boston and LA where, and I didn't know this, so basically when you say Uber, come get me, all they get is your name.
See, I don't remember that as an Uber driver that one day.
You did it for 4 hours and you were hammered.
I know. I was not drunk, I swear.
Are you sure you don't get a picture? Because
when they accept the fare, then they get your photo and all that.
Yeah, it
so
beeps
first
red.
It's just the name.
It beeps red, then you click accept. The whole screen is red. Click the big shiny red button, and you say where to go. I don't remember anything where it said the people. Anyway,
so it gives you a name, and they said that basically in both LA and Boston, they were turning down an inordinate number of rides where people had black sounding names.
Oh,
so that's not going to bode well for them because they already have issues with.
And it was a big disparity, too. It wasn't
like in the a 50 to 60% differential.
Wow. So
Lyft wasn't as bad, but they were still as bad.
I wonder because Nuri is very Middle Eastern, but I don't think people know that that's Middle Eastern.
Right.
So it's he sounds scary. I've never had a canceled ride before.
No, I've never had one either. But we knew a guy that Uber was his profession, right? And he got fired for canceling rides.
Wow.
And why would you cancel rides? Like me, I was picking up whoever, granted I was the one day.
You were in Auburn Hills and you were, because I mean, like, I told you, I wound up having a conversation with the one guy who said, look, you know what, if I'm, driving around Midtown and that kind of stuff, I'll pick people up and I'll take them wherever they want to go. Am I necessarily accepting rides where I'm picking them up in certain neighborhoods at 1 o'clock in the morning? No. And he said, just because he's like, I know guys that, have gotten, went to go pick up a ride and gotten mugged and that kind of stuff. He's like, it's just a choice. And he said, but the downside of that is, he's like, if you refuse 3 rides, they turn your thing off for an hour. So you can't accept any more rides. And he's like, and if you keep, canceling, if you keep refusing stuff after that, then you get killed.
See, I don't see the refuse. It's just not clicking the red button. See, to me, it was never, do you want, they weren't giving it to me. Whoever clicks first gets it. That's the way I thought it worked. Maybe. But then once you get it and they say where you're going, then you can refuse or cancel, right? So,
but I thought you didn't know where people were going until after you got in the car.
No, you do not where they're going. It's where you're picking them up.
Got it. It's like it's a 20-minute ride to get there, so I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Okay.
But that can't be good. Like Uber's got getting enough crap these days, let alone having to deal with this now.
And then I feel like we have to end on this story. Bob, you been in Tokyo recently?
Yeah, no, not recently, but I've been there 4 times.
Surgery?
No.
While you were there?
No. I just went to the bars and stuff and went to business meetings.
Because I thought this was amazing that a fart was blamed for a fire in a surgical room in Tokyo.
So I didn't quite figure out how
they were doing laser surgery,
like in the butthole.
Laser.
No, they didn't really specify, but they said, they had said that some intestinal gas then escaped from the patient.
Okay,
which then was ignited by the laser and caused severe burns on the patient.
Like outside or inside?
Little column A, little column B.
Oh, okay.
And so obviously there was a lawsuit involved. And they determined that nothing happened improperly. All the equipment was working the way it was supposed to work, and no, they didn't have any flammable gases or anything in. And they went back and apparently it was a thermograph, an infrared of one of the cameras that showed said intestinal gas escaping said patient's body.
We had a long chat about this at work today because the article actually said fart.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what's a better word to describe that? What's the noun version? And I said flatus. And people are like, no. And I Googled it, and flatus is totally the noun version of fart.
It's kind of like poop water, the Detroit News, like that crap.
What is journalism becoming?
It's no.
It's right. Walter Cronkite is rolling in his grave.
We've all, at hotel parties, we've all turned the lights off and lit our farts with cigarette lighters. Let's not deny that.
I actually have not.
Oh, you missed out on one of life's wonders.
It's not too late.
After Dumb and Dumber, everyone had to.
I had Camilla's for dinner.
What happens if you shoot one of those lasers that cut paper? Like, have you seen those? Like, you can buy them now on Facebook.
Like the green lasers, right?
Yeah.
I wanted.
I don't want to point at anyone.
Then this happens.
Then you
should not own one.
No. What if you put it across the vicinity and you go into it?
You should not own.
Yeah, that's bad.
No, anywhere in your house,
right.
It's a danger.
But the fact that it caused a medical fire, which is funny. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Michelle Gilbert from Comcast, and this is the IT in the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com.
The Imagine Theater's first ever video game night takes place on November 16th at the Imagine Theater in Royal Oak. Hosted by Activate's own Bailey Ray, you can play against friends and enemies in the newest sports games on the hottest systems. Get your hands on the latest in virtual reality or enjoy retro living rooms with the systems to match. Drink and food specials including an all-you-can-eat taco and nacho bar, as well as door prizes and giveaways all night. Space is limited, so go to ActivateGaming.com/imagine to reserve your spot today. That's ACTIV 8 gaming.com/imagine.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. Thank you, Rick Springfield. This is episode 169, segment 2 of the IT in the D show, broadcasting live here from the one-story Golden Towers in Royal Oak, Michigan, known as Podcast Detroit. This is Bob the Sales Guy. hanging out with Dave the Geek, running the soundboard. Nuri the FNG's in the house. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Thank you to Randy and Ian for filling out Twitter. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter /ITintheD. And you can subscribe to us on the Google Plays, the Androids, the iOSs, the Apples, all of the things, the Stitchers.
Just not the Samsungs, please.
No, just or if you do have a fire extinguisher ready. Two quick dates. Two quick dates to put on your calendar. November 17th at the Firebird, and then December 8th at Falling Down Brewery, both from 5 until question mark. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Oh, you ready? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I thought you were just off.
You never pay attention.
I didn't know if you were going to talk about Comcast and like that. But hey, so here's the deal. An operating system runs everything of something, like the software system that runs your computer or the engine that runs your car. What about a business? What does it take to run an entire business? Most businesses have 3 focuses: acquire and serve customers, empower their employees to get their work done, manage internal processes to support customers and employees. Zoho handles all of these and more. So, and I've said this before, when I first got dragged kicking and screaming into management roles, there was no infrastructure. I mean, we were kind of in a startup mentality, so there was nothing really there for me to lean on that came from, that handled things like forms or how I wanted to lay out my guidelines or how I wanted to, run everything through HR or how we were going to handle team communications, that kind of stuff. That's what's nice about this. So with a set of marketing, sales, and customer support applications, Zoho allows the business to acquire and serve customers. Nice and simple. Zoho's powerful productivity applications like Mail and Office Suite and online collaboration tools help empower employees to gain customers for the business, while human resources, finance, accounting, and expense management applications keep everything ticking. So here's what you're going to do. You visit Zoho.com to learn more and create your free account. Tweet at Zoho with, and I still think this is going to go horribly wrong with our demographic, the hashtag #ThatFirstMoment to share your most inspiring first moment. So that's Zoho.com. Create your free account. And Zoho, there's a first time for everything.
Yay.
Thanks for the support.
Absolutely. So we are joined by one of our favorite guests ever, Michelle Gilbert from Comcast is in the house. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us.
One of your favorites?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
You invite us to the cool parties, and you, even though sometimes we can't make it, but we still go.
Bob says that to all the guests.
I do not. Go back and listen to all the shows. There's no way. But no,
Randy probably has an answer.
Randy knows. Yeah, exactly. He stalks
He's pulling sound clips as we talk.
Bob says that 2.93% of the time.
So what is new and exciting at Comcast? How's downtown doing?
Not much. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
How's the Midtown store doing?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, really, really well. People love having it there. I mean, it's kind of right in the center of so much. And, anytime you open a new store, it takes customers a while to figure out it's there.
You're right.
But it's doing good.
But it's walking distance to like the best chicken wings I've had in this town. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it right across the street?
No, it's right next door.
It's right up the street. Yeah, like 3 doors up.
Oh, what's the name of that place?
Oh, is it Brick?
House? Brick House? I don't know.
Check it down now.
There's a really good restaurant right next door. I'm blanking on the name.
But there's a place called Brick. I think it's Brick. That's right up the street. We walked in there and they were like pterodactyl wings.
Oh yeah,
they were just
so
amazing.
good.
Wow.
And the sauces were great. It was just phenomenal.
Love that. Don't we have a special announcement? Nuri, are you part of this special announcent?
This is so exciting for me. I've been waiting for this for
Where's the Ric Flair music? Yeah. So what's going on, Nuri and Michelle? Can you guys enlighten us on what you guys are yakking about?
We're getting married.
I'm pregnant, Bob.
Yay!
With yeast.
So we earlier this year we announced that we were bringing our 1 gig to the city of Detroit.
We had talked about that, yeah.
Yep. And today it went live. It's
Oh,
pretty
my goodness.
exciting.
I'm so excited.
I know you are excited. I can't tell you how much Nuri and I have talked over the past. When's it coming? When's it coming?
Michelle's like, it's coming soon. I can't tell you when.
But no, it's exciting because, we're investing in Detroit. We're investing in Michigan as a whole. Every year we spend on average about $200 million on our network. A lot of money. And
people don't realize that. They just think, crappy customer service, I hate Comcast. But then, you don't realize what you guys are putting into this whole thing.
Like everywhere I drive, I was saying in the break that I drive down 6 Mile and I'm like, oh, I'm connected to Xfinity Wi-Fi on 6 Mile, driving 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, but people don't realize that crappy customer service is getting very uncrappy pretty quickly. And
well, you guys have acknowledged it. It's not it's not a secret. I mean, let's be honest.
That you don't go from a D to an A overnight. I mean, there are still mistakes that are made. There's still training that's going on, but we are absolutely turning it around. And I will tell you, there are a lot of things that we measure. One of the things we measure is the amount of time how often are we on time? And there's that old cable guy.
Can you be there between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. sometime over the next 4 days?
Guess what? It's not that. It is a 2-hour window.
No, you know what they need to do? Michelle, I'm going to throw you a bone right now. The Uber Domino's style for the Comcast guy.
Okay, so
does that work or no? When you see where his truck is?
I thought about this with Domino's.
We are testing it.
Okay.
I thought about because I ordered pizza for the house.
Yeah.
I thought about the Domino, and here's the problem with that. Theoretically, if you're tracking their vehicle and you see where their vehicle is, then you're seeing where their other customers are.
Or you could go steal their truck while they're inside.
Right. So, good touch, bad touch.
We do have something through my account, and I think it's still in trial mode. It's mode, not mold, called Where's My Tech? And the idea behind it, and you don't get to see where they are before, but you learn, first of all, who's coming to the door, which is kind of nice to know.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like who's making my pizza at Domino's, right?
But you
always
also,
important to know Jenny's making it.
But you also get a sense of, okay, they're 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So that you get that idea.
So I can run to Meijer right now, so I know that I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's always the big hang-up.
But
they always know the minute I walk out of the door, they're going to be knocking on mine.
But it's not a 4-hour window anymore. It's really, truly only a 2-hour window. Our on-time rate is like at 98.5%. People don't realize that. And if we are late, we credit our customers.
2 hours is that's kind of
it's kind of great. I had a service call not long ago. My cable box corrupted. It was bad. Something went wrong in the box itself. Not your fault. And the guy came out, and it was like a 12 to 2 window. He was there at 12:05. And at 11:50, I got an alert saying he's on his way. Yep. I'm like, oh my God.
Yay. So wait, Nuri, are you going to be, is this true? Like this whole, I'm going to be the first gig customer?
I sure hope so. I really want to
I know
be.
you're trying to be. Is Michelle making this happen for you?
I sure hope so. Because I've got a bunch of nerds.
Favors,
no,
but,
of course not.
If we were alphabetizing, we were starting with N.
Right?
For Nuri.
No, but you want to be the first.
I would love to be. Yeah, I've got
first gig customer in the city of Detroit.
I've got this thing in my house where I've got a fellow IT guys, and we're kind of building this IT flop house almost at home. So we're all super power users. I've got an amazing wireless network that pushes 5 gigabytes inside the house using double AC channels. It's the new Nighthawk X8. Yeah, they're glorious routers. So I've got the infrastructure for it. Now I just need the pipe. And so this is coming. And Michelle, what are you guys going to have to do to my house to give me gig service?
We are going to give you a new modem and router.
Wait, that's it?
That's it.
So gigabyte over the existing copper, all you change out is my modem.
Right. So we've already done all the work in the background, and that's why it took us a while.
And so it's going to cost you $5,000 a month to have this?
I don't think so. It's $139.95 if you don't have a contract, and then if you go with a 3-year agreement, it's only $70 a month.
Correct.
Which is, I think that's what I'm paying now for $150.
It's promotion pricing. I mean, this is still an advanced trial. Detroit is only the 4th city in the entire country.
Kicago, Atlanta.
So promotion pricing area, it's $139 for the first 2 months, and then $9.99 for the rest of your life. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Michelle. You give me that look.
I know, that evil stare.
No. And it's really cool. I mean, I'm in the university district, so you're just lighting up the university district, right?
Oh my God!
I think about Rocket Fiber, right? They basically just do Midtown, right?
Yep.
And then Lightspeed just does a couple of blocks in Southfield. So where are you lighting this up in Detroit?
So we will have our 1 gig network across the entire city, and the reason that's important is because probably 75, if not more, % of the residents don't live in Midtown and downtown. So we will be where all of the residents are, and then we'll roll it out across the rest of Michigan next year.
Sweet.
That's crazy.
I'm so excited to have this. I can't wait to a gigabyte download is like what? So if I wanted to download an HD movie.
So I think you can download a 2-hour HD movie in about 40 seconds. But
party at my house. Everybody's coming over to download movies
so
with Russian subtitles.
Welcome to Nuri's Torrent Fest 2016.
Right?
We don't do that at my house. No.
150 megabyte music album in 2 seconds, a 15 gig video game in 2 minutes. And that's exciting and that's fun for all you tech geeks. But I think what's more exciting is what we don't know. Because if you think about, there's going to be a lot of people sitting in their basement planning the next great thing. I mean, if you think about with the wireless industry before 4G came out, people are like, well, what does that mean? How am I going to use it? And if you think about the way we're using our wireless internet now, I mean, it's, anything.
Well, you think about how 4G changed podcasting. Now I can listen to it in my car, Bluetooth to my speakers, which we couldn't do. But before that came out.
Yep. So I mean,
so you get to listen like idiots like us.
Just speed, but it's how you use video, where you use video.
Well, and I guess that's the inevitable follow-up question. So, how do you balance? All right, so gig to the house, all this video's now available, or all this stuff's now available faster. Great. Is the concern that there's going to be a hit on the cable TV side? Because now you're making it easier for, me, wife, 2 kids, all that want to watch, random stuff off of Hulu, Netflix, wherever else. You're decreasing that dependence on the cable box.
But we understand that our customers aren't sitting in front of their TV all the time. And we've made a lot of changes and invested in technology so that we're giving customers their shows where and when and how they want it. I mean, I think we talked about this last time. You can get your your DVR content on any of your mobile devices. You can even you don't even need an internet connection. If you download it before you leave the house, you can take it with you wherever you go, or you can stream it when you're on Wi-Fi or a 4G network, but that might cost you a bit of money. It's really, being able to stream on your devices while you're in the house, any channel, being able to take your TV wherever you go. I mean, that's how people want to watch. And if anything, you're giving them more value. So it's not that they don't want to watch their shows. It's they want to be in control of where and how they watch them.
True. So 2 quick stories about that this week. My roommate has not watched a lot of media. He came from a very conservative background. And he's like, well, what are the 3 movies you want to – if you told me I needed to watch something before I died. And so I named off 3 of the movies, and one of them was Pi. It's a weird kind of indie Darren Aronofsky movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if it's on Comcast. And so I pull up, I search, there it is. And I'm like, oh, God, let's watch this right now. And it's like,
demand.
it's the X1 platform that searches all of the on-demand content from Comcast as well as from the premium channels. Right. That was amazing. And then second one, I was laying in bed and I wanted to watch the episode of South Park that I missed. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what happens. So I pulled up and I watched
Wiener's Out, that one?
Yes. I watched South Park. I didn't DVR it. I didn't record it. It was just there in my X1 on-demand platform the next day. And I was
actually had that same kind of thing happen where apparently I guess there was a flicker, and so the TiVo wound up rebooting when it was recording Criminal Minds, but did the same thing. Went to the Xfinity box. All right, yeah, there it is on demand. Boom, yeah, cool. Didn't miss an episode.
And we've got a pretty robust on-demand library. I mean, we offer a lot of on-demand content for free.
Oh, yeah.
But, and think about it this way. I mean, look at the announcement with Netflix. Everybody thought Comcast and Netflix were competitors. Well, to a certain extent, everyone's your competitor. But people want to be able to – they don't want to have to take their remote and switch to a different input or output.
So true.
We're beta testing it now, and it's going to roll out very, very soon. So now when you're searching, it's going to integrate your Netflix.
Dude, that's so great.
Rumors I saw Apple's and talk to buy Netflix.
No.
It's a bad rumor. I hope it's a bad rumor because I do not want to see that happen.
Well, they talked about it was Disney was the first rumor about buying Netflix, and then Apple.
Blockbuster should have, but want.
Yeah, exactly. well, and I guess that's that's the other thing is so how I guess what's Comcast take on this AT&T buying Time Warner?
Oh,
because it scares the ever living hell out of me, and it's the last thing I want to see happen.
So, we're asked that question a lot because obviously
I assumed.
we bought, Comcast bought NBC Universal.
Yep.
So, kind of sitting on the sidelines watching like everyone else, but not really commenting with an opinion.
Yeah, gotcha.
So about this gig service now,
Oh boy.
how do I officially sign up for it? Like, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but where's the sign up form, or can I call in, or what's?
Yeah, no, don't call in.
Okay.
So, because right now what we're doing is we're collecting, because we are still quote unquote in trial. Customers need to go to xfinity.com/gig. It's a super easy sign up process, and then we will get in touch with them. The process in terms of how long it could take, 1 to 2 weeks, not too long.
And that's only people that are in the city of Detroit for right now should be hitting that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, if Bob decides to hit it when he's out in Auburn Hills, you're just going to tell him to
Thank you for your interest, basically, right?
I want an Auburn Hills.
Well, why doesn't Bob first switch to regular Comcast, and then we can talk?
Because you didn't have baby TV. We talked about this. My 2-year-old would burn the house down if they didn't have baby TV.
She's already setting the thermostat to 90.
She did today.
Still not have baby TV?
No, I tried with the person you connected me 4 months ago. Yeah. Same baby turned my Nest up to 90 today. So my wife's like, oh my God, the house is solid.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about hackers controlling your Nest. You have a 2-year-old.
Exactly.
I just Googled and it says baby. Oh, it's a series.
It's not.
Okay,
yeah.
it's not the series.
She can watch it on her stupid laptop and tablet and all the other crap I bought for her, but no, she has to have it on the big TV.
Well, that's how that works.
Right, I know.
So the gig service thing is very, very cool. One of the other things that you guys do that we're huge fans of, though, is the Internet Essentials program.
Yes, thank you. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, and so I understand there's a tweak with that now too that people in Detroit probably want to know about.
Not only people in Detroit, but really all across the country, because I know you guys have listeners from other parts of Michigan and certainly other parts of the country. So, we've been at this with our Internet Essentials program, providing affordable internet to low-income families for, we're on year number 6, and we have made upgrades to the system every single year. I think last year we give everybody now free routers so that they have Wi-Fi, which is important, and we've talked about all the reasons that's important. So the latest that we just introduced this fall is we have made Internet Essentials available to anyone in HUD housing or who is eligible for HUD housing support, financial support. And so what that means is, anyone who lives in HUD housing can have Internet Essentials for $9.99 a month.
So it's not just the free kids lunch. Now
Correct.
it's okay.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
I mean,
not everybody has kids in elementary school.
But,
Yeah.
There are a lot of senior citizens, and we got a lot of criticism. Well, what are you doing for the seniors?
Sure.
But this isn't just the seniors. It's anybody. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to be over the age of 65. If you are eligible for HUD housing support, you are eligible for internet.
That's awesome. Now, how are you marketing this out? Are you doing anything with community leaders? Are you doing anything with?
Yeah, we are working with various nonprofit organizations. We're working with HUD itself.
Okay.
Across the nation and in the different states, we're setting up trainings on in-person trainings with organizations to get the word out and to educate them. And of course, the $150 laptop deal is still out there as well.
Sure.
So,
Well, yeah, I mean, it says. Just looking at this, the release about it, 110,000 homes in the state of Michigan,
right?
And then 25,000 homes inside the city of Detroit itself.
Yeah,
should be knowing about this.
Right. Yeah.
That's and Michigan's number 7 on this list,
right.
6.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, you've got another 191,000 in California. Just that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, people all over need to know about this.
Up to 2 million households across the nation. That's that. I mean, when you talk about the digital divide, there's a difference between internet access and internet adoption.
Right.
And we need to work on internet adoption. Internet access is a totally separate issue, and that is a problem. But internet adoption is what we're dealing with in the city of Detroit.
Right.
And looking at the demographic stats, there's 269,000 total occupied homes in Detroit. That's almost 10% of Detroit is eligible for this program. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So we're working hard to get the word out, but we can't do it alone, and we do rely on nonprofit organizations to help us educate people because, again, the adoption issue is they don't think they need it.
Well, and it's not just adoption, but awareness as well. I mean, that's those are the two things that we've always talked about. Is why aren't more people doing this? Is it because they don't want to adopt it, or because they're not aware that it's out there?
I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's really easy though. Like if you have kids that are in school, they need internet access at home. It should be that easy.
They do.
That's right. They need to be able to copy Wikipedia entries just like all the other kids.
and the amount of teachers assigning.
I do that. What are you talking about?
No. That's where your resume came from, Bob. Wikipedia.
Totally.
Oh my God! My 8-year-old wanted to run for student council, and she Googled speeches for student council, and that's how she developed her speach. And
that's
she won.
Hilarious.
By the way, she won.
She's going to take over the world. She is. Just wait.
So, where can we find out? So it's Xfinity.com/gig.
Right.
And then where do people find out more about this Internet Essentials stuff?
Internet Essentials is internetessentials.com. Very easy. But, if people don't have the internet, they don't have access to the library or on a mobile device, they can also call 855-846-8376.
Awesome.
We'll get this in the wrap-up so everyone has those numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. Michelle, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in.
I am so excited.
Well, I guess I can.
Yeah, exactly. We will.
I can leave now. I don't even need.
We will send a press release when Nuri gets. He's the first one in Detroit to get gig service. And hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Matt Blaze from Aero Strategies. This is the IT and the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D show.
Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT and the D show, broadcasting live here at Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy, hanging out with Captain Soundboard, Dave the Geek. Nuri the FNG is in the house. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Without further ado, we're going to get right to it. We have Matt Blaze in the house from Aero Strategies, and you guys have been around IT and the D since probably minute one. And we love having you around, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, well, thanks for partnering with us. I mean, it's been successful for us. We love the group, love to participate in Pink Slip parties, the networking events that we have around Royal Oak and downtown. So it's a great win-win for both of us, I think.
So for anyone that doesn't know who you are, hasn't been to our events, I mean, why don't you give a quick overview on Aero Strategies and what you guys are about?
So Aero Strategies, we're a recruiting company, a talent acquisition, been in business for just over 13 years now, around $50 million. So we have a lot. We operate in a interesting space within staffing in the country. So there's a few companies that are as large as us. I think we're in the top 10%. But then you have the others that are in that top 10% are global talent acquisition companies. So we're
$50 million is huge for a local company.
Yeah. We have 13 years of hard work. I mean, it's all to the ownership and.
It's attributed to IT and the D and other events.
Of course, you guys are
come on,
completely responsible. But so we still have that small shop mentality where we work with local companies. We don't work with every company out there, and we don't work with every candidate out there either. We look for talent on both sides.
Interesting. So, I mean, one of the favorite things of us bringing recruiters and talent acquisition is we always want to get ahead of trends, right? We always want to tell people, hey, what are you looking for? What's the things going on?
If you're sitting there lamenting your French degree.
Right. No, but we always, .NET, Java, we get that. iOS development, we get that.
Yep.
What's the next tier of stuff coming up or everything? What are you hearing?
Well, so what we see with the companies that we work with, they're looking for functional roles. So like a business analyst or a project manager, but somebody to have the technical background. We hear that constantly from a client saying that we want somebody that has grown into a career from the technical background, whether it's at home or whether it's a prior company. We want somebody to be hands-on, or at least know to talk the talk with people that are doing the dirty work. So that's what we see. It's business analysts. We see a lot of those roles with development skills. So they're looking for some data. That's what's driving a lot of the market right now is data research, marketing. So people that
big data.
Yeah, big data. Yeah, of course, always big. The bigger, the better. But yeah, the companies are looking for that kind of hybrid employee, somebody that can work both sides of IT and business, because ultimately you have to translate your talents to how it can affect the business.
Well, it's something of a change. I mean, for a while there, it was, we've got to have, the PMP certified project manager, to handle the business side of things, and there'll be a tech lead that they peer with, and yada yada yada. But I mean that's been a shift that's been going on for a little bit now. Right. Where we don't care so much about the PMP. We care about somebody that's got a technical background with project management skills.
Right. It's real world talent. The PMP is great, but as soon as you get to managing an actual project, does it follow the flow chart that they taught you in class?
Right.
Yeah.
I heard PMP ain't easy.
It's dynamite.
Exactly.
It's dynamite. No, I had that conversation the other day with, I've been interviewing like mad. And they said, talk to me about Shadow IT. What's your thoughts? And I said, well, listen, the guys that we used to call on 15 years ago that were in the data centers, that were the IT managers, they need to realize, A, they're spread way too thin and they know it. B, they need to be business outcome aware.
Yeah.
C, they need to make themselves more valuable, because I don't want to say they're dinosaurs. You got to pick that fight on who you talk to and say that.
Right.
But they are.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it's too easy right now for a line of business manager to swipe a credit card and to stand up server, storage, compute, network, all whatever.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
So it's kind of like you're in that double-edged sword space where, yeah, great, you're technical talent, but you need to realize that there's more to it.
How does it translate to the company that you work for? Making
Sure.
them money or saving them money?
Exactly. So is this what I'm kind of steering you into the direction of what are your customers that you're talking to? What are they telling you? Right? Are they still trying to get that technical talent? Or are they trying to get bridge both sides? Yeah. And how do those tech guys bridge both sides? Right? Is that their mindset even?
Yeah, it depends on what role you're in. I mean, there's obviously the highly technical roles, but the clients are asking us for somebody to have that technical ability. So if you're in an app development space, if you haven't developed, there's certain caveats to what you've done or what a developer does that you just flat out don't understand. And so when they're looking to fill a need to push out an application that's going to affect the business, the most efficient way to do it is to have somebody that has that technical ability, but also has the business acumen to realize the effect of the decisions that they have.
Sure.
It's like the days of a coder who just comes in and kind of codes, does their stuff, and goes home is kind of over.
Yeah, head down coder. It depends on the organization. I mean, that's something I talked to a client today. Won't reveal who it is, but they said if they wanted a head down coder, they could call India. It's flat out. It's you can outsource that. If you need somebody, they're looking for somebody to have an impact in what they do.
To have ideas,
and I'm getting that from my sales interviews. Great, you're a technical sales guy. How do you bridge that gap? What are you talking about? What are you doing? And for me, it's thank God I was in that space, right, at Cisco where I can articulate that. But again, how many people thought they needed that?
Right, exactly.
I'm just from a coder's perspective. Hey, I went to Java school. I don't need that. Right, but now I
don't care what the stupid business users say they want.
Right. Well, it seems like it's imperative now, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the talent that we're seeing out there, the candidates that we're working with, have that ability. It is you have to be able to function in that space to be a valuable commodity out on the market, and that's one of the trends that I was looking at in terms of hiring in Metro Detroit. It appears, according to Monster and Career Builder, that there's 4 jobs out there for every project manager, every business analyst, every .NET developer, and that's flat out not the fact. There is a war for talent out there. There's not enough jobs for the people that are out there. So you have to be able to code towards a position if you're going to try to get an opportunity out there in IT today, you have to be able to have those skills and be able to translate that, talk to what the client needs.
So you brought up a good point, and it translates into what ITintheD does in terms of our events, and is keeping talent here. Right. I'm sick of, we go to pink slip parties and go, hey, what are you looking for? Well, we want to hire people in Chicago. Kiss my ass, get out. Right? Like, what, I guess, what, is there any initiatives that the state's putting out, MEDC, whoever, and just trying to attract and keep talent here? Is that even on you guys, or do you care?
Obviously, we care. Detroit is where AeroStrategy started. We do have an office in Chicago, but we can we can bash on them all day. There, a lot of the companies in Detroit. Dan Gilbert, right, has his hands in kind of everything downtown. Especially a lot of the larger corporations heading down there. So there is what we see in the marketplace is a drive to get talented people downtown, to have people living downtown. There's, I think they're still doing subsidies for apartments and living downtown if you work for one of those companies.
Oh yeah, well, which is such the really big change. I mean, I remember 10 or even 5 years ago. I did a lot of technical interviews and that kind of stuff, and so but people would balk at, oh, the job's downtown. Yeah, I'm not going downtown. It's not going to happen. Whereas now it's the new hotness,
right? And
people only want to talk about gigs downtown, and that's the other side of it. Is to your point, Bob. We're seeing more and more people that are requesting to join the LinkedIn group for ITintheD that are from out of state. And anybody like that, we always hit with a note and just say, hey, noticed you were from, you're from Dallas or Chicago. What's up? Why are you looking to join ITintheD? And we're, it's, oh, well, I'm looking to come back home now. Like, I hear the market's better, and I'm starting to get, people and I want to find recruiters, and I want to deal with people that are back there to help me get back home. So I mean, it's a nice change from 08, 09, 2010 when there was such a brain drain around here as people left.
There's a lot of innovation happening in downtown Detroit still, especially the big three. I mean, you look at some of the stuff that they're doing with their suppliers that are doing autonomous driving vehicles, the technology behind that. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons to stay in Detroit.
And just the hour and a half commute for guys like me in Auburn Hills, it's amazing.
That's how things are getting better. Traffic's getting worse.
Oh, my God.
Thanks, I-75.
30 years of I-75 work.
Oh, my. Yeah. No, expand 9 Mile and 75. Don't expand Adams and 75 for crying out loud. That's where the log jam, 14 and 75. Every day there's a traffic jam there.
It's the Jesus curve. It's like 696 in the south in the Telegraph mixing bowl there. I'm convinced that Jesus is standing and I'm the only one who can't see him. Because that's the only explanation.
No, 14 and 75 because everybody's
never
leaving
an accident.
Everybody's leaving Twin Peaks on 14 and 75, getting on the highway.
Because there's never an accident. It's just everybody's just stopped for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
One person taps their brakes. So I mean, Dave brought it up too, but I always like to talk. If you're like, I like talking about people getting in IT.
Yeah.
Right. And we're launching a career academy with MEDC, getting people A+, Net+, Security+. Right, kind of getting into call center environments. We talked, we had Grand Circus here a couple weeks ago and Iron Yard and whatnot, talking about, the Java boot camps, the .NET boot camps. Is there anything else you would even recommend anyone even looking at? I mean, is CCNA's dead now?
No, we still have a lot of clients that look for that.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to be touching routers and switches, that's standard.
Well, you look at SDN coming down the pike. Yeah. Everything's kind of blending, right? Where software-defined networking, it's all about the app. Right. So, I mean, granted, there's still going to be some legacy networks out there.
How well can you read logs?
Right. Everyone
looks like pine there, Bob.
Everyone loves log.
It's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
Log rolls downstairs all over in pairs. But I mean, in all honesty, what else? I guess, what's that thing that maybe that sauce or that next, security is obviously big.
What I see in security is companies that aren't willing to invest in it until they get burned. Sometimes that's
common theme.
I guess my personal opinion.
No, it's common theme.
Okay.
Well, and it kind of just branching off of something you said. So, and I know this conversation happened a number of times at the Pink Slip Party, and I know it happens at our networking events every month. what's your advice from an Aero perspective to, people that are going through those boot camps, that are going through the Grand Circuses or, the Girl Develop It's or, any of those classes that are out there, great, you go through these, time intensive things for a little bit and then you're out of them. And I think a lot of them.
What's next?
Yeah, because I think a lot of them walk out and then, good, bad, or indifferent, like Grand Circus just funnels people to us and our events.
Which is fine.
Yeah, and, but good, bad, or indifferent, they think they're going to walk, some of them, think they're going to walk in there and get fought over when that's not necessarily the case. I mean, how do we help them expectation set, I guess is a good way to put it.
Well, expectation, I mean, they have to be aggressive. They should realize that it's a career transition and it's not easy to do that. I mean, even if you are 20 years old and going through a Java boot camp and you haven't had a prior job, it's brand new. And a lot of companies out there are looking for experienced people because, like I said, there is talent. There's a war for the positions. There's multiple people that are qualified for each job that's out there. So you have to get out there and network. The people that are rolling out of those boot camps that are just entering into the market, you have to network flat out. That's make the connections that will be your in to a certain company. From a recruiting perspective, sometimes our best assistance that we can provide is talking to those people about interview skills, how to tailor a resume towards a certain job description, what companies are hiring. It's market intelligence. We try to just open up doors and help people where you can, even if it's not directly benefiting Aero Strategies. Right. It will benefit you in the long run.
Well, and so something you just mentioned, and it kind of came up earlier, and I want to hit on that perception because, you keep hearing from certain sources, there aren't enough jobs, there aren't enough jobs, there aren't enough jobs. And then you hear from other sources, there aren't enough people, there aren't enough people, there aren't enough people. So which are you, I mean, you just said, there's, a war. So, I mean, what are you seeing from that point of view?
A mix. I mean, depending on the positions. Like I said, the person that is technical, that can do the business functionality side as well, that understands the impact that it's going to have long-term financial for the industry, that's hard to find.
How do they get that? I guess it's a good question too, right?
Read my resume, Bob.
It's
read yours? No.
I don't
steal your resume?
Sure.
It's not something I think you're born with. I think it can be taught and learned. And I think a lot of the candidates that are coming out onto the market now, the people that are having this skills graduating from college have that ability to talk and understand what is actually the impact of what they're doing. So I aside, how do you get that on your own? I don't know. I mean, I think you have to be out there learning every day. I constantly trying to better yourself. You can't just be stuck down the heads down developer. I think that role is somewhat going away. There's clients that still need that, but that if you want to remain competitive, you have to be better than that.
I think you have to understand a little bit more about, if you say the business, but it could also be understanding the business's customers.
Right. Of course.
One of my roommates actually is going through this now, is that he really felt like to be a better developer at a shop that he wanted to know the customer's struggle and the customer's journey and kind of understanding how they use things and like why do they call customer service and things like that. So I think, if you kind of look at it from a holistic picture, not just I'm going there to write .NET, right. I'm going there to solve problems. And I think you probably are a much more attractive candidate.
Well, you have a company that has a posting for a .NET developer and the person goes to interview and they don't know a single thing about the company.
Exactly.
That you used to be able to get away with that. I'm a .NET developer, I can do anything. But now you have to do your research. You have to be the person that's trying to take what your skills are to the next level.
I got away with being a beer salesman and walking into a data center selling Colo and OC3s for crying out loud.
We made that work.
The last interview I had, though, for a call center technology job, the interviewer asked me, so have you called our IVR? I'm like, absolutely. And I did the following options, and I got to a call center in South Dakota. And they're like, very good. Yeah. What are your observations? Yeah. So it's like they expect you now to have at least done your basic homework.
Well, you have to ask why. And I think that's part of what networking and and finding not to kind of a buzzword, but a mentor or somebody like that that'll walk you through that, because you have to find somebody that's willing to take the time to answer those questions. Okay, I'm writing this code. Why? Well, 10 years ago, you didn't necessarily get a whole lot of time for why, and you had to go figure it out on your own and that sort of thing. But I mean, as companies are starting to cultivate or try to cultivate that talent, it's important, to have, that why go-to person.
Well, and that's what the networking is about, right? So you go to an IT in the D event and you're talking to people that are in different industries or different technologies, different companies, and they will ask you those questions. Why are you doing that? As opposed to the coworker that's sitting next to you that knows exactly why you're doing that.
Right.
So you get challenged on stuff like that. And that's why I think networking is important for people that are, trying to get into the market, leaving those boot camps.
Well, that's my answer. I got asked that yesterday in an interview. How would you displace this vendor? I said, math. What do you mean math? I said, just math. We're going to talk about uptime, downtime. We're going to talk about bodies needing to administer this product. We're going to talk about, we're going to get through maintenance costs. We're going to get through blah, blah, blah. And I know, as long as I know their maintenance costs and what it takes and what the math is, I can pull out a 5-year plan and talk to them about math. Well, and that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I mean, if we've said it once, we've said it a million times. If you walk up to a recruiter or you sit in an interview, and hey, I'm looking for a job is what is basically coming out of your mouth isn't going to work. Like we've always said, hey, wander around, listen to what people are saying. Instead of saying, hey, I need a job, can you hire me? It's okay. Well, what problems are you having right now? And then listen to the answer, listen to understand, don't listen to reply. Right. And then, hey, here's my background. This is how I could, this is how I would tackle it. This is how, I would go ahead, take a whack at solving that problem for you. And you'll typically find you'll have much better results.
Right. Absolutely.
I have one very important question for you, though. Can you give me gigabit internet service in my home?
That's how Nuri is going to evaluate all of our guests from now on.
But hey, Matt, we can find you at aerostrategies.com, correct?
Yes, yep, absolutely. Check out the website. You can upload resumes there if you need help from a recruiter in this market. I'm telling you, you need that help if you're interested in going after a certain position.
Well, and we did. We kind of talked about that at the resume workshop that you guys did.
Right.
That, people get very possessive and weird about their resume.
Of course.
And, but if a recruiter is telling you that you need to make certain tweaks to your resume, there's probably a good reason behind that.
Yeah, it's not to insult you as a person or say that you didn't do a good job. We have the clients telling us what they want to see. I kind of relate everything back to dating. So if you tell me you're interested,
we do too.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, right? But if you tell me you're interested in blondes, I'm not going to send you a resume of a brunette,
right?
And expect you to be interested in it. You have to be able to tailor a resume to a job description or what you need. And so when we look at that and we asked candidates to make changes, that's what we're trying to focus on. It's not to insult somebody. It's to get to the end goal of getting a job.
Well, the best part is I showed Matt my resume, the old story of the HP job I got back in 2007 from a Microsoft template. It's the same resume I use today because I really didn't need to change it. And Matt's like, it's perfect. You don't need to change it. I'm like, oh boy, I feel like that next generation of resumes. There's all these weird sites that make all these goofy,
you have a 1-page resume, a 2-page resume,
with your picture on it and all these graphics. And I'm like, no, no one's ever told me, especially at a sales guy level, I don't need that.
Well, you have to build it towards what the client needs, and what is your impact going to be on the business?
Numbers, math. That's what I do.
Achievement.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But to that earlier point, it's no different than, are you going to wear a suit every day when you go to that job? Probably not. Right. You're wearing one to the interview.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's what they want to see.
I read an article today that said jeans were okay to wear to an interview, and for some companies, absolutely. It's you.
I had to I had to wear a suit and tie for a video interview.
He didn't wear pants.
Yeah, I didn't wear pants. I had underpants on.
Disconnect before you stand up.
No, the recruiter basically flat out told me, she said, do me a favor, put on a jacket and a tie. Yeah. I don't care if you're on, for a WebEx. It doesn't matter.
It's I haven't had somebody not get the job because they were overdressed. I mean, there are. I assume that there are clients out there that will do that, but that
I wouldn't show up with a tux and a monocle.
Exactly.
Good day, sir. I said good day.
Brothers.
It's the wedding rule, though. My wife always says, like, I feel like I'm overdressed. Like, there's no such thing ever.
Nope.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
But hey, Matt, appreciate the time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to seeing you at the next event. You're a regular fixture, and we appreciate that. You bring a lot of value to our members.
Thank you.
Matt Blaze, Aero Strategies, aerostrategies.com. We're going to wrap things up here for episode 169 of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Michelle Gilbert. I'd like to thank Matt Blaze from Aero Strategies. And also I'd like to thank ZipRecruiter and Zoho for sponsoring the show. It's greatly appreciated. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Nuri from IT and the D, we'd like to remind you to drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Root.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would, like, Buick put their cars next to, like, the Bentleys? Like, why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.